Take two. Take two. Here we are. It is game 3, though, even though it's take 2. Game 3 for this evening. It is game 3 between VirtusPro and the Retry. Well, I say that, I actually mean the third game of the night, and it is VirtusPro and the Retry, which we both see for the second time today. Of course, round-robin group stage for the excellent Moscow Cup with 11 teams, and everybody faces each other once, and the top 4 of the group, they move on to the LAN finals. VirtusPro and the Retry, both in the lobby, and this time not wasting any time on the draft. And of course, welcoming my co-caster again as well, G Advance, welcome back.
Yep, sup, nice to be here, and nice to see some heroes actually picked by these teams. We have Centaur Warrunner picked up by the Retry, which I think is it worked versus Pro in the last game. Obviously, it wasn't the Retry using it, but initiation seems to be something that VirtusPro have just struggled to deal with in that last game, so Centaur Warrunner, one of the best heroes for doing that, but apparently VirtusPro, they're like trying out a strategy or something right now, because they pick up Dazzle, Nature's Prophet again. That's the same as the heroes they had. Actually, no, those were heroes used against them, right? Nature's Prophet was used against them.
Yes, and they had the Dazzle. Alright,
they did have the Dazzle. These two, they can combine well to do a lot of damage because those trees grouped around people with the Shadow Wave will do a lot of damage. But the thing is that Nature's Prophet and Dazzle generally aren't next to each other in the fights. Dazzle and Nature's Prophet, they both perform completely different roles. Dazzle wants to be there, sitting around behind his carry heroes, you know, healing them up, allowing them to go further into those fights. And Nature's Prophet wants to be on the complete opposite side of the map, screwing around with an enemy tower.
Yeah, at the same time, it does allow for maybe a bit more split pushing. If you have a Dazzle there, then Dazzle is a fight delayer, and therefore giving Nature's Prophet more time to maybe split push. Talking about pushing, by the way, Shadow Shaman Centaur picked up by the Retry. This is already a very scary combination. Even like if they're together on a lane, you can Hex or Shackle, and just like we saw in the previous game, if there is a support holding someone in place, the Centaur doesn't necessarily instantly need a Blink Dagger, so can get in there, can get the stun off, can get the damage off, can get the double edge off, and could be leading into a kill. So the Retry also starting off strong. I think we're going to have a pretty hefty game in our hands. I mean, of course, all games so far in this entire tournament that we've casted have been quite action-packed. I don't think this game is going to be any different.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams, teams that play action-packed, I mean, it's Russian Dota. You know what I mean? That's pretty much the style of it. This tournament seems to be filled with it so far, and I hope to see more of it. Shadow Shaman generally a hero, and Nature's Prophet generally a hero that want to play at a slightly slower pace, but these heroes have been picked up a fair amount so far, and it doesn't look to be slowing down the pace of the game too much. So, yeah, all the bans coming out here, I mean, VirtusPro, they pretty much have pick of the litter as far as what they want to get so far. Surprised they banned the Pugner out. Not a hero we've been actually seeing that much of. He just seems too vulnerable to initiation to me, to really pick up in at the moment. With teams picking up so much in the way of mobile, just explodes.
He does. I have to say it's an interesting ban to have. It makes me think that VirtusPro is picking up maybe something like a Storm as well. Normally you would ban out a Storm if you have a Nature's Prophet on your team. And I mean, G plays a decent Storm. So, and it's kind of weird to see him not banned out and see the Puck not banned out instead. So I'm expecting a Storm to come out for VirtusPro, but they do take their time, so maybe it's not that straight away. So far, in terms of lanes, I mean, it's very open in terms of what the Retry is going to do. We saw in the previous game how the Centaur was used in an aggressive tri lane. He can also be on a safe lane. We actually yesterday saw Centaur being run in the jungle, which didn't work out at all in the end. But, you know, that happened.
No, it was meant to be an offlaner, but ended up kind of having to go to the jungle because he was so scared of the enemy lane. VirtusPro, they pick up a Puck here. It is going to be, you know, a good control hero for them. If I was the Retry right now, I would definitely want that Storm Spirit you mentioned. G, he could have picked it, but Storm Spirit more than anything counters Nature's Prophet brilliantly. A great split push hero is always countered by a great ganker, and Storm Spirit, pretty much the definition of ganker. He's very mobile, he can jump in, and with an Orchid, it should be fairly easy to kill off this Nature's Prophet. That said, they're spending a little bit of time on this. They've used up their standard time. They're going to go into bonus time, but yeah, I think that would be a nice pick for them, and it will do fairly well versus the Puck in the middle lane as well, of course.
Yeah, I think so too, but they are, like you said, taking their time. They don't necessarily need to pick up the Storm right now. They can also pick it in the next pick, because VirtusPro is not going to pick up the Storm. They might ban it out, though, so that's a bit of a risky point right there. The Retry, it really depends on what they want to give away, what kind of impression they want to give with the next pick. Do they want to show what they're going to do? They actually pick up the Shadow Fiend, which is surprising. Because I was not expecting that the Storm would be so perfect here.
Yeah, I guess they're just going to... I mean, one thing that's very possible that a lot of teams have been doing right now is basically ignoring split push. Because it's, the big thing is if you have 5 heroes, you win the fight fast enough versus their 4, and someone's trying to split push you, you push down the towers way faster than they're going to be able to do. Shadow Shaman, makes me think perhaps they might want to do that, might just group up and push against them, but VirtusPro, they pick up another hero who's very good at split push, very dangerous hero, but also dangerous to run.
VirtusPro, they've got a Puck that needs a Blink Dagger before he can really start throwing out a punch and making some space, so to say. Morphling, he needs a long time before he can get some impact in the game as well. He needs just this starting item, be that a Lincoln's or something else. Normally it is a Lincoln's, of course. Nature's Prophet needs also time in the jungle to get his levels going, to get some pushing items up if he is going for that kind of build, but just have a couple of items before he actually starts fighting. And I'm all saying items, as you can note, not necessarily levels. Dazzle needs levels, not necessarily items. But if you look at the retry, they've got 2 heroes, both Shadow Shaman and Centaur, that without any specific items, they are already with levels very dangerous. And I think that they are going to be the team that determines the pace in this game, and if they start their lineup fast enough and can slow VirtusPro down, then VirtusPro's lineup is not even going to get off the ground, depending on, of course, what VirtusPro picks up last, because if it is a support that can combine up very well with a Dazzle and can rotate around a lot, and maybe try to create space and, of course, buy time for their heroes to get some items, then they're going to be okay, but there's a lot of pressure on that last pick, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure for both these teams in this last pick, because one thing is if the retry aren't fast enough, and that Centaur, I'm not sure I would agree with you on the whole Centaur not needing so much in the way of items. I think if he does not get his Blink Dagger, which is a hero, he's a hero who kind of needs it, and he's not a particularly fast farmer. He can maybe go to the jungle or something, but he's easily shut down if he goes onto that off lane. I think the retry, they might be going aggressive tri lane here. The Silencer pick is a bit unusual. It does mean that they have an easier way of killing off heroes that they do go on. And it means they don't have to pick up a dedicated ganky hero. Maybe someone like the Shadow Shaman or the Centaur can do it instead, but I'm a little bit confused over this pick here. Silencer just not a hero we see picked up very often. Most people, in fact, would say that this hero is pretty bad. There are some very few people, though, who seem to be a big fan of the hero.
And it is actually VirtusPro. That is one of the teams that used to use Silencer a lot in their games. It started out as a core. They tried it out as a core a couple of times, but ended up having Arsart play that most of the time as a support role, which turned out to be pretty damn dangerous because Arsart, of course, also one of those supports that always knows how to find farms somehow, even though he's behind. And on the Silencer, that is very scary. We're going to have a Treant banned out as well as an anti-mage. The Retry and VirtusPro, both, of course, in the previous game that they played, had a Drow. What would you say about a Drow in the Retry's lineup in this case?
Versus a Puck, I wouldn't want to do it. Puck is very good at jumping on top of that Drow Ranger, and Morphling as well. If there's nobody that he's going to jump into that could seriously kill him, if the Shadow Shaman's already dead, for instance, which the Puck can quite easily do if she manages to jump in and silence her and then combo him down, because Shadow Shaman's squishy. I think if they pick Drow this game, the initiation for VirtusPro, it's not hardcore initiation, but their ability to go in is too strong, and they actually pick up a Spirit Breaker here. I love Spirit Breaker. I'm not sure I can get behind him in a pro game, though.
Well, he doesn't need damage. Like, he needs levels. He can already start creating space earlier on, and I think that's the most important factor that they were lacking. And that also means that even if Puck does not have a Blink Dagger yet, it is Spirit Breaker that can initiate, and otherwise they wouldn't really have an initiator other than a Puck that might or might not be shut down in the lane before that. So, yeah, I actually like it quite a lot. The retry, of course, one more pick needed. They still have a lot of time and the bonus time left if they want to use it. I don't think they will use it because they're not really a team that, takes to the last second before picking their heroes purely because they wanted time. That said, of course, they're going to do it now because I said it and I jinxed it. But overall, I think the Spirit Breaker, I like the pick. If it's going to work out, that's a second point. But I think it's probably a very a good pick against a team like the Retry, because the Retry is going to fight constantly, and if Spirit Breaker gets a bit of decent levels up, then things will be okay for them.
Yeah, and it is a good hero for, going in early roaming and trying to secure your lanes for you, but he's very dependent on getting those early kills on it. If he's going to be a support hero, which he pretty much has to be in this game, I think the Retry here, they pick up the Slardar. Now, this is something that I've seen a couple of times, not many people picked up on it, but Slardar Shadow Fiend is a great combination, because the thing is that you can boost up the amount of damage that the Shadow Fiend can do. You don't have to worry about the fact that Slardar's physical damage on his own is not great, and he can also play a lot crazier as far as initiation. If they get Blink Daggers up on the Retry, they're a very scary team at the moment. The VP, on the other hand, they have a little bit more in the way of split push. They kind of want a little bit more on their Morphling before they can actually fight, but that said, they need BKB on the Shadow Fiend, and I don't know, this is an interesting game. I don't think any team has a significant advantage from draft. I would generally say, though, I'd be a little bit more happy if I was on the side of VP right now, because they have heroes that want to go right into the middle of the enemy team, and they do have that Dazzle backing them up. If the Morphling wants to go very, very ham, he can do. The same can go for the Spirit Breaker, pretty much anybody else. And I just feel like their draft has more options to it. The Retry, they basically have to go mid-game and just fight. That's all they can do.
Yeah, I have to say I'm curious about their laning, as we see Screen actually, who has a very unorthodox helm first. Oh yes, a whole Centaur! Look at that, a whole Centaur set. I didn't know there was a Centaur set. That looks kind of funny.
Yeah, I've seen that set before.
Oh, I mean, I didn't. Actually, I saw the axe before. I saw the weapon before because it looks like a stick horse.
Yeah, we went over this before. No, I know the I really like that helmet because it looks like I'm trying to remember the name of the
Gladiator.
But actually, no, that's not what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the golden helmet from I'm trying to remember it. He's in DC Comics though, so I'm a massive geek like that.
Screen was a bit too cocky there. He has to run. He's gonna be able to run, and the rune is gonna be a nest with a double damage rune. This is scary.
Yeah, it's not like he doesn't hit too hard at level 1 here, but it looks like they're just going to control this. Actually, no, they give it to Jotum.
He's
just
ranged,
because
he can arrest better.
Yeah, he's ranged. He can push the Centaur out of the lane. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting for me how they do here. Illidan actually going onto the mid lane here with this Morphling. He's going to crush this Shadow Fiend as far as last hits, and with the help of Jotum as well. This is very difficult for Nexus here.
Yeah, let's go for who's playing what. As for the side of the Retry, they do have Nexus on the middle lane this game. Shadow Fiend for him. He is gonna not get any help from a support, which is probably needed for him to get his first 7 souls, to make last hitting a bit more easy for him, or at least to make him able to last it at all. As Screen is gonna be on the Centaur, we already saw him. He is having a bit of a man-fight battle with the Spirit Breaker. I mean, a bull forces a horseman, you know. You can feel it. It's like farm animals fighting for the better spot in the barn. We've got ourselves on the bottom lane, our trial lane. It is PGG this time on the Slardar. Safe lane carry. NC will play the Silencer as a support. And then last it is Shadow Fiend played by Android P on the bottom lane as well, but for now stacking and pulling.
Yeah, on the side of VirtusPro, of course, it is going to be the offlaner for the team, Arsart here. He's going to be on the Nature's Prophet. He's already picked up boots. He went for that straight away. So he's not too much in the way in danger of dying. But he's going to struggle here with these supports. They're able to zone him out pretty easily. And he's not getting much in the way of XP. In the mid lane, of course, it is going to be Illidan Strangebee, as I already pointed out. He's on the Morphling. And he's getting great last hits here. Not even struggling a little bit. His base damage with the extra morph into agility is just way ahead of Nexus. And with Jotum here, he's on the Dazzle. He's going to be trying to zone out Nexus as much as possible, who still hasn't got a last hit. On the top lane here, it is going to be G. He's on the Puck, and NS on the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, a bit of interesting laning from both teams. Less so for the Retry than for VirtusPro. But for VirtusPro, it is definitely paying off. I mean, we talk about this all the time, or at least all the time. This used to be the thing to talk about when Shadow Fiend was picked up. At some point in Dota history, he was mega popular. Everybody picked him up solo mid every single time because he was such a strong hero. But then people realized, well, all we need to do to stop that from happening, to stop Shadow Fiend from getting big, is to shut him down early with supports. So then he completely fell off favor because the roaming supports gained more popularity, and then he was kind of crap. And we've seen him a bit more lately now, purely because you can get him 7 souls and he's gonna be okay-ish. But a Shadow Fiend that is shut down, overall, has a very, like, doesn't really get back that fast. He needs time. He can't really do well once he's shut down. If he is shut down, then he needs to be spending some alone time at some other part of the game to try and catch up. And so,
yeah, he's a great flash farmer, but he can't get back ahead after losing his laning stage by getting kills, because he's just not good at it. But I think this is the sensible thing that the Retry can do here. They move NC into the middle lane. He can throw out the last word, and with Illidan having such a low mana pool and taking a lot from this is smart. But actually, the Spirit Cow is going to be charging into the middle lane here. They're going to go on Nexus, but he's already backing off.
Yeah, he's seeing it, of course, because there is a ward. They are still going to commit, though. Are start teleporting in for this as well. They go for the Silencer instead. He was, of course, out of position. That's your first blood. And to be honest, I don't know why he was still standing there when he saw a charge coming. He should have ran like the wind.
Yeah, better for him to die than for Nexus to die, but there was no reason he couldn't have followed Nexus out there. He just tried to stay and hide in the trees, and yeah, Spirit Cow gives no ground. They just go on him anyway, dive underneath the tower. Illidan gets the kill, and that's first blood for them, and this Morphling could farm up pretty much anything he wants to at this stage. He's right at the top of the last hits and denies, well ahead of anybody else.
Yeah, and he was the first blood receiver as well. And do you think he's gonna go? Oh, he's gonna go for a kill perhaps. In comes the silence though, or at least the curse coming out from the silencer. He might be able to pick up Illidan here. He is actually able to do that. Not gonna get the dazzle as well, or shouldn't get the dazzle as well. In the meantime, the Spirit Breaker went down on the top lane as he actually died next to the tower. Got kind of initiated on by probably, or at least he was initiating probably. Centaur died as well, so they exchanged lives there. That is at least something. But that kill here in the middle, that was huge. By the way, sorry there, my mouse is kind of like, I think there is a cat hair in my laser.
Lovely.
Yeah, lovely.
Cat lady problems. No, anyway, yeah, I mean, that's how the Silencer support rotation,
charge.
I thought it was a great rotation, but again, the charge coming out. They're relying on this Spirit Breaker to get them kills at the moment, and the fact is they don't have great killing heroes on their side, outside of maybe the Puck, but even he needs a few items.
Ooh,
yeah, they back off in the end. Yeah, there's nothing they can really do for that. Android P sees him coming, and he can get the shackles while he's still coming there, but yeah, this...
Did you say Illidan Strange when you introduced him?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, someone says not Strange, Storm Rage. It's Illidan Storm Rage.
Okay, he normally goes under Illidan Strangeby.
No,
I've heard that as well.
Strangeby is actually a Swedish player.
Well, I'm calling him Morphling then.
It's Illidan Storm Rage.
Yeah, Strangeby was on 4FC.
Yeah.
Oh, my brain is melting today.
Dream Coil already coming out here at 5.5 minutes. Screen is going to be the target. The Orb Reply, the chase is on, and the kill is there as well. Nature's Prophet takes it. And an S continues charging to the top lane.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry.
I can't get over how stupid that is. I called him, like, two people's names. Oh well.
Sorry. I think the hair is gone.
Okay. Alright. Very professional from us right now. Wow, Illidan actually going very aggressively up on the high ground there, but again he's going to go up versus the Silencer, and Silencer just cuts through him with these Glaives of Wisdom. Even level 1, they do a fair amount of damage here, especially because he's already stolen in, and Last Word hurts Morphling a fair amount, because I don't believe using Morph will do anything as far as getting it off you, so you're forced to use Waveform, which is a lot of mana, and you still take a ton of damage from that spell.
Yeah, and he already died to being aggressive like that once before, and wasn't expecting him to do it again. This time it doesn't cost him his life, which is nice, at least, for him. G, by the way, is having a very good time here on this top lane. I think I actually thought he was doing a little bit better, but we are only 6-7 minutes into the game, so I shouldn't complain. He went for treads first, but he is safe lane farming. He is higher on net worth than the Shadow Fiend, who, by the way, is higher on net worth than the Slardar, so that means that this Slardar... PGG, he's been playing very aggressive, but therefore missing quite a few last hits. And Shadow Fiend, the one that was struggling so early on, he was sitting at 0 last hits at 2 minutes in. He's actually higher on net worth right now than this safe lane Slardar, which I don't think should have happened.
Yeah, speaking of the safe lane Slardar, the charge is coming in again. I think they do want to try and go on this. The Nature's Prophet is coming. Actually, no, that's another TP. Yeah, they're all going onto him here.
Yep, and let's see if they can do it though. The slow is there from the poison, the Dream Coil coming in as well from G. And indeed, there goes Slardar. Teleport out still from the Shadow Shaman, so he is out safe. But 4 heroes here on the bottom lane for VirtusPro. They committed heavily to taking down that Slardar. It's a good kill though. Shutting down the Slardar. It's the same kind of hero as the Shadow Fiend. If he is shut down, he needs time by himself to catch up. He can't really do that much once he's shut down because he is a bit of a initiator slash tank. And if you are behind as an initiator slash tank, then you're gonna be squishy and you can't jump in like you would want to. As we see the charge, the stampede, can they get a crush up? There comes a crush. They both crush at the same time though. And they are gonna be killing off G. Grave or no grave. G should be dead. Tries to delay the execution for the moment. He is actually running away. We already had the Wind Ranger. Centaur War Runner dead. Now down goes the Slardar, and that is so not worth it. That is so not worth it. Silencer goes down as well in the midst of all of this. But that puck was able to stay alive for such a long time that he was just able to kite around the retry.
Yeah, and that's the big problem with this Slardar. Before he's got his Blink Dagger, he's not able to properly secure the kills. As well as that, they did stack their stuns early on, and I think that was a big problem for them in the start of the fight there. But yeah, I mean, so far things seem to be going the way of VP, and they have a lineup that's possibly more reliable as well. The only problem for me is that despite the fact that Illidan, he had a good start in the lane, he's not, you know, crushing this Shadow Fiend as much as you'd possibly like him to. This Shadow Fiend, he is catching up a bit, and they haven't ganked him very much since that early first gank, and they still haven't got a kill on him.
True. Shadow Fiend is doing Shadow Fiend things, staying alive, and also getting a small camp, or no longer a small camp, of course. He's actually going to get initiated on. There is also a teleporting coming from the Nature's Prophet. This should be the first time that he goes down, but maybe, oh, Android with the shackle, he's gonna give his life for the greater good. He will go down, but that is a very nice save, or is it a save? Illidan is still having a weak form. He could try to find...
He doesn't know where he is, though.
Nexus, and indeed, he doesn't know where to go, and now he is the one to be running away from NC. Once again, in the meantime, the Centaur goes down on the top lane, with the Nether Strike actually being used by NS. So that is a... What?
That's a level 6 Spirit Breaker before the 10-minute mark. This could be very dangerous because Spirit Breaker, he is a snowball style ganker even when he's picked up on a support role like this, and he's very tanky this game, and at the moment the Retry don't have much in the way of damage unless they have that amplified damage up on somebody. They're actually going to go on NC here, the middle lane.
Yeah, he's died twice, now 3 times, so there's not really any competition there. I mean, that is just a very quick, easy kill. It's 10-3, and I have to swallow my words and take everything back that I said during the draft, because VirtusPro, they're doing amazingly well. That Spirit Breaker pick is basically gluing their lineup together and making it work.
Yeah, the Spirit Breaker seems to be working out for them, but I just feel like the map rotations and the way they've been, you know, moving around on the map has actually been working more for them. The big thing is that the Retry, they've been basically sitting in their lanes trying to get a core item up on everybody. They need maybe the BKB up on the Shadow Fiend, they need Blinks on the Slardar and the Centaur, and until they have those items on those heroes, they can't move around with them. And Shadow Shaman, not a great roaming hero as well to try and get kills. He's low range, he's very slow as well. And Hex and Shackles, you know, you're not going to be able to get them off before people start trying to back off, especially if they're faster than you. NC as well, not a great killing hero, and both of them are struggling for levels as well. So I think VP, they've just been moving around the map more because a lot of their heroes can kill without needing items.
Yeah. Well, if there is an initiation from the Spirit Breaker, that is.
Yeah, they need the Spirit Breaker to initiate on them, but it feels like just their movement around the map is better.
By Android. Dream Coil used, but I mean, it seems like he's using it left and right just at random, but he is at least, every time he uses it, there's a kill coming off the back of it. Stampede coming in. They do have a bit of a ran at you kind of lineup. The charge is still coming in though. Dazzle will go down before he can do anything. Perhaps he can get some more. There's no crush anymore for PGG, but perhaps he can get a Bastion. He only got level 1 of that though, but the Sprout, oh Arsar, you wanted to be in the Sprout by yourself. Can't have it happen. The charge still continued on, and NS, he should have cancelled that charge. He's gonna pay for that one 3-0, and now G, he's probably a bit sad that he used his Dream Coil on that solo Shadow Shaman because he could have used it there in that fight. But that is gonna be the Retry being very happy with their fight. I'm a bit surprised that Screen doesn't have more gold than what he has right now, but then again, he died 4 times. He's still level 7. Because I'm expecting Blink Dagger soon. PGG has got enough gold for his Blink Dagger. Nexus, of course, is not going to go for Blink Dagger, but for BKB, but I'm expecting one on screen. And again, I'm surprised he is so poor as he is. He is sitting on a net worth of 16. Does he have something in the courier? No.
No, he's just... I mean, he went for Trank Boots, which is nice, but it's not helping him at this stage.
Oh,
and
not at all.
he needs another item on top of this. He needs specifically that Blink Dagger, because... I mean, we saw the Stampede there. It was able to help them turn around a fight and get the Slardar into there with the Crush. But otherwise, I mean, that's a 90-second cooldown. They're relying on that to initiate. And soon, VP are going to get more and more mobile. G has already picked up his Blink Dagger. Of course, Morphling is a very mobile hero. The Nature's Prophet, not easy to get hold of either, because he's just anywhere on the map. But
Stampede being used. What's that? Is that a panic smoke? That was a panic smoke. Nicely done, Shadow Shaman. He'll still help out, though, because PGG jumps in. Should be able to get a kill. There we go, with the wards helping out as well. Weaver him over the cliff to make sure that Illidan lives. At least it turns into a one-on-one, which it wasn't before. So that's at least something that Shadow Shaman managed to do. Pretty okay-ish.
That's something for them, and they do have the Blink Dagger on Slardar now, which is nice, so they can finally initiate.
Yes.
They're going to go up on the top lane here. They need to get perfect initiation here, but they're only going to get NS if they do get him.
And there's a Crush up if they want it. Yeah, they want it on the NS. He jumps forward, crushes, double edge there as well, and Silencer to take the kill. Nicely done. The rest of VirtusPro has already left the top lane, and I say the rest, it was only G, really.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I immediately said they're only going to get NS, because G's just too mobile. They can't initiate up on him.
They also have the problem, at least the Retry has a problem, that yes, they are now starting to take some kills, but they don't really get anything else off the back of it. No extra
and that's
towers.
The power of the split push from VP. Their split push is great. Morphling as well as a Nature's Prophet. Unless those two are killed, they can't really do much about it, because the waves are just keep on being pushed out against them. And now up on the top lane.
Nexus. The charge is there as well, but I don't think it's needed. Teleport in from Nature's Prophet, and the interrupt on... Oh, I love that. The minus interrupt on the poison to interrupt the Requiem of Souls. Just enough to make sure that there was no actual Requiem of Souls cast.
Yeah, Illidan may be caught out of position here, but he is going to get out, but he needs to use his TP scroll. He's still seen, though. He's going to go down.
He is shackled. There's no mana for Crush, though, but Mana Boots coming in, mana in treads, and that should be enough. The Hex as well. BGG gets himself a very high profile, nice kill. And it is the retry that, yeah, they might have just lost their Shadow Fiend, but they get something in return, which is probably at this point more valuable than their Shadow Fiend. It was the highest farm hero on the map.
It was the highest farm hero on the map, still is the highest farm hero on the map, along with most of his the other two cores on his team as well. The big thing for me, though, is that their Shadow Fiend, he needs to come back into this game. It's 16 minutes in, he still doesn't have his BKB. Whereas the Morphling, he's going to come back, there's plenty of space for him to farm. There's just not as much room for this Shadow Fiend to farm, and he's still just not combat ready yet. He's still only got level 1 Requiem of Souls, so not a very powerful skill there. I mean, it's nice because he's got max souls. He's not even got max souls actually right now. He's sitting on just 20, so yeah, he just needs to get into that jungle, farm up a storm, get his BKB, and then maybe he's combat ready. But right now, not at all.
And it's also pretty scary, though. I mean, pretty sad that there are so many heroes on the retry that need so much farm. You need core items on every single hero on the side of the retry. Even Shadow Shaman wants to have a Blink Dagger at some point, or BKB, or some mobility item to get those initiation with shackles or hexes better to get.
They're just too poor
proper.
right now. That's just the big issue for them.
Taking
and
out
there's
towers
just no
would
room
solve
on
something there.
Yeah, I mean, some towers would be nice for them, but even with the Mass Serpent wards right now, they're just too scared of going out and doing anything on the map. And with VP all missing, I mean, we just get a ping coming out now, but it's probably not going to be in time. They're grouping up to try and go for this, but I think Illidan is getting... Yeah, they're going to get this Aegis beforehand.
Yeah, they are, and I don't think they would want to fight with an Aegis on the side of VirtusPro, but VirtusPro would want to fight and get the Dream Coil out. Orzo charging, in comes the Stampede, and Ness is going to be the first target. It is a global silence coming out, and I really, for a second there, felt like I should be doing the Synderen and Sunsfire thing to just be quiet, but I didn't do it, and now we're going to see the Silencer dropped, and it looks like we're also going to see PGG go down, and the Grave keeping the Prophet alive for a little while longer. They might have taken down the... Oh... There we go. Yeah, the The
Might try and go on
Spearbreaker, but
screen here, but
yeah, Yule Scepter
Oh,
will
the
buy
Yule
time for the rest
Scepter.
to get here. And that's a silence, and he can't go anywhere. Nexus, why are you still here? Go, run like the wind. He has a BKB. He might be forced to use it. He is forced to use it. That is a shame.
I'm not sure he actually needed to use it then. If you looked at the mana on the Dazzle, they didn't have anything, and Illidan, whilst he does a fair amount of damage, he's not going to burst him down that quickly. Maybe didn't you need to use his BKB then, but he's just trying to play it safe. The retry, though, they lose a lot from that fight. I mean, more map control going their way, and VP is just... They're just getting so much in the way of items right now. Illidan pretty much has his Lincoln Sphere, I believe, as well. Yeah, he has his Lincoln Sphere, it just needs to come on the Courier. They have a Shadow Blade up on the Nature's Prophet, bit of an old school build, but, I mean, that's Arsart, he's a bit of an old school player. And, I mean, there's just so many more options for the side of them. Even when the retry, they got off the silence about the best time that you could get it on. When VP had just initiated, they countered with the silence, they dropped down the wards as well, and VP just ignored them and just carried on fighting, and they're just they're so far ahead at this point that they need to just get a pick off instead, and that's what they're trying to do with this smoke, but they're going after a puck. It's not an easy kill by any stretch.
No, especially not if he is... Oh, PGG now knows where he is. In comes a vision, the orb. He finds Ines instead. In comes a Stampede. Ines still gonna get hexed up, but in comes a 4-man Dream Coil. Oh my god, this is gonna be disastrous. It's gonna be a bloodbath for sure. Slardar goes down. They still get an S, which is great, but Screen can't do anything. Nexus trying to hide, gets the Requiem of Souls up. I should be able to pick up the Dazzle. Turns on his BKB and tries to teleport out. The damage is still coming out on him, but he is still out alive. I mean, that was not good for the retry. I also noticed that this is the third game, so my English starts to mess up. My brain starts to make words jumble together. It's weird.
Yeah, we've been casting a fair number of days in a row now, basically, haven't we? So I get,
and a lot of kill
that's
games
understandable.
Too, with all the players.
Yeah, this is a high impact game.
You used to do play-by-play, right?
Yeah, I can
do play-by-play for next fight. Income charge.
I mean, I can do that. It feels weird almost doing it. It's a long time since I've done that, but yeah, the big thing for me right now is that they initiated up on the Spirit Breaker, and the Spirit Breaker is the last person that they should care about killing, right? Because he's only got 2 spells, they're on long cooldowns, he's going to be charging in now, he's going to go up onto the Centaur, Centaur are going to be picked off here, the Global Silence does come out, and they just give up on the kill on screen there, not able to pick him off.
Well, that was a very
Does
short
that
fight. I'm not sure if that counts, to be honest.
I don't know, it's the third game, it counts. I have to do analysis, that's hard.
It's like I can practice on my camera work. That's what I was thinking. I can like just do whatever cameramen do. Would be nice.
Man, I wish I was good at camera work. That's the big thing. Like I genuinely like worry about doing any solo casting now because I have awful camera work. Like I really do hate my camera work. Everything else I'm fairly happy with myself. Like I'd like to improve on, but that I'm not good on. Oh, looks like they're going to initiate on Illidan here. They do get the Hex off, but he's morphing strength even inside of these. They're just not doing the damage to him right now. There's no help coming in. The charge comes in from NS. They hit on Android P. The Arsart is teleported in. They're now going to turn around. Illidan is still alive during this fight. Nobody's even hurt him. The crush goes down again from PGG. He's managed to escape out, but on the other side of this, the BKB Shadow Fiend, he's doing a lot of damage. NS fine after the grave goes on him, and now Illidan still in this fight. He's going to go on to NS and Nexus even, and Nexus goes down underneath the tower. Illidan just survives that entire time, and with just a Lincoln Sphere, he still has Aegis.
Yeah, that's just
that
scary.
one counts.
That one definitely counts. Well done, to be honest. It was fun. I messed up my camera work slightly, but it was okay. I think it was okay. But overall, I have to say that fight, I mean, that's just the problem right now for the retry. They do not have the damage. It is only the Shadow Fiend that's dealing damage, and he wasn't there. And actually, PGG stuck inside the Sprout. In comes the Stomp, doesn't hit on anybody, and PGG Dagon down screen, running away to his base by a different route, but it will still lead to the same result. VirtusPro charging maybe into the base of the retry, might be still a bit hesitant because there is a bit of health missing on Illidan, even though he has his Aegis up. Looks like he just wants to burn his Aegis out. His Aegis is about to disappear, he probably needs to.
Yeah, this is going to give him full mana and health, why not just go in?
Yep. Either it's gonna get heal him up or it's gonna kill him and he will respawn. One of the two. 30 seconds is what he has on his Aegis.
Yeah, it doesn't matter too much for either way for him. They're going to back off now. Probably sensible, considering the Slardar is going to come up pretty soon and will probably be involved in that base defense. But the real thing is that they're relying, because they're so low on damage right now, they're relying entirely on amplify damage. So if the Slardar initiates up on Illidan, they drop amplify damage, and it went on his Lincoln Sphere in that last big fight. So they managed to get the Hex on him. That's great, but he's still morphing up strength, and they just don't have any follow-up damage. And in that fight, they weren't able to get the right heroes on all bottom lane here.
Oh yeah, my camera was there. I did miss that, but that was too fast to do anything about. Too fast to cast. Too fast to do anything for the Centaur. He managed to press R, so that's nice for him. But just
Congrats.
look at how sad he is. He is 2k gold behind the Spirit Breaker, who is the lowest net worth on VirtusPro. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He really probably still wants one. But he is this, like, Centaur falls into the same category as the Slardar and the Shadow Fiend. If they get behind, they're just sad.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing he can do as far as initiation. He's pretty much there just to use Stampede. Maybe he'll get the occasional Hoof Stomp pop. He won't get much in the way of double edges off, because if he does, he's just going to kill himself. He just doesn't even have that much HP at this point. And this is a Centaur we're talking about.
Yeah, oh, that's a level 4 Dagon for the puck. Used, level 3 rather. And that's instantly Shadow Shaman dead. The tower will die as well. They'll charge in, they go for Slardar. Global Silence coming out, but it doesn't stop Arsar from trying to hit on that Slardar. Slardar cannot initiate yet. He needs that Blink Dagger to be off cooldown. He needs the right positioning, and he actually gets silenced the moment that he jumps in. Who will get forced back? Requiem of Souls comes out for Nexus, who will go down before actually taking anybody down. And it's PGG that will still get picked up by G at the back end before reaching his fountain. This means that everybody is dead on the side of the retry. Well, not anymore, because the respawn timer of a Shadow Shaman that is level 9 is pretty damn short, but that also means that the Rex are down, and that is also mid lane that's gonna get taken down, I think. I am not sure if... I don't think the retry can come back from this. Let's just keep it simple and call it as it is.
Yeah, I have to agree. At this point, it's pretty much over. They're going to lose 2 racks. Maybe the retry, they're going to, buy up a load of items and try and go in, but they're not even 5 yet, and by the time they are, they've lost 2 sets of racks, maybe even a third. I mean, Illidan hasn't exactly been concentrating on finishing off the enemy buildings here. He's been walking around mostly, and yeah, they still get 2 racks before anyone's back up. At least when the retry all come back up, they'll have pretty much everything, but they won't have Global Silence, and that's been their ace in the hole, and it hasn't even done much for them.
Well, Lincoln's already popped on the Morphling. Silence coming out on the Slardar, so he can't even do anything at all. He might be able to blink in, but he can't crush anybody right now. Is he gonna do anything though? Is Blink getting put on cooldown constantly by Illidan, as we have got a Dagon coming out on the Slardar. Slardar dead. Great for Ines, who will live for the moment, as the Shadow Shaman, the Centaur, Nexus and Silence are the only 2 left alive here. Buyback coming out from the Centaur actually. Ethereal Blade almost doing a good amount of damage here to Illidan, but he is fine. He is just fine. I was never worried at all. G has been doing the whole Dagon thing, and he's been loving it, I think. He's just been sitting around that base, zapping people. He's
Yeah, at
zap
this
someone
point,
else again.
they're just bouncing
There we
camping.
go.
Oh, that looks painful.
Yep, level 5 Dagon.
Silencer, not a tanky hero by any stretch, really, and he's just got a magic stick this game. They are so poor. The retry, they just never managed to get any core items up, and by the time they did, it was too late. VP, they have so much over them. Ethereal Blade on Illidan, I mean, if you compare that to the Shadow Fiend, he just got a BKB.
Oh, G, hexed up. Will he get saved? Yes, he will. Grave comes out. Is it enough? Illidan will go to try and help out. Orb away from the puck, who will live for the moment. Native Prophet Ultimate gonna try to help on the heroes from the retry as... Oh, Slardar! He just jumps in to try and go for that kill, but gets zapped the moment that he reaches that. That's gonna be GG. That's gonna be a throne falling, even though I like the retry for trying.
They're giving it their all, but I think they know what's happening.
I think so too. It is fountain farming all the way. Ultra kill for G. Doesn't get a rampage because he is yuled up into the air, but it is VirtusPro that wins their game today. That means that both of these teams have won 1 game today, of course, as the retry earlier won their game and VirtusPro lost their game earlier. So I guess that makes it even slightly. VirtusPro, also a game I think they should win, even if only for morale. because
Yeah.
they did kind of get crushed.
They needed that.
Before that.
They got crushed in that first game. In this game, though, I mean, the real issue, if you look at it, is their supports just weren't able to pick up enough kills. They weren't able to roam around. And you need your supports to do that. If all your core heroes need an item, at least one item. Shadow Fiend needs a BKB. Centaur Warren needs his Blink Dagger. The same goes for Slardar. And, they got their Blink Dagger late. They got their BKB late because their supports are very immobile. Yes, Silencer is useful in the mid-game team fights, but he wasn't doing very much in the way of killing. He tried to get the Morphling. They did get the one kill on him, but that was it. And the Shadow Shaman, the same goes for him. He didn't really do much in the early game. They were too passive.
Yeah, they were indeed. And they paid for it. We're gonna have more games tomorrow. Let's just quickly look which teams we're gonna see. Tomorrow is the 2nd of April. Thank God April 1st is over then. We're gonna have Aware versus Insane, Insane versus VirtusPro, and VirtusPro versus Empire to close the night off, starting at 6 p.m. CEST time, so make sure you tune back in then. Thank you for watching. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Twitch. Any plugin? What are the plugins for you? Where can they find you?
Twitch.tv/setmygibs and thank you for having me on again. I do enjoy this tournament. There's a lot of games going on, a lot of kills happening, I would say.
Yes.
We have been having, I think we've probably casted more kills in the past few days than most other people have. In fact, probably anybody.
For sure. CAS
which
Dota.
I like. We always get the CIS Dota, which means we get way more kills than anybody else.
We get action all the time, and we get to know some of the newer teams, or seeing how some of the teams do, like Aware. I hadn't seen them in a while, so that was nice. And of course, you can also follow me on Twitter at Shiver Gaming. On Twitter is where I'm at same name for YouTube and Facebook, by the way. If you want to watch any of the VODs of the past week or so, or any of the VODs in my entire casting career, apart from my first ever cast, then you can all find them on youtube.com/Shiver Gaming. So make sure to check that out. And tune back in tomorrow. 1800 is when this tournament will be live once more. It is gonna be a blast. Yes, I hope so anyway. Stick around if you want to watch commercials, and otherwise just have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye.